The time has finally come to talk about classes. Now, what is the difference between a struct and a class? Well, there's a lot of differences between a struct and a class, but really the main difference is with a struct, you have a whole bunch of primitive data types that make up a composite data type. Now, a class is not only different primitive data types, but it can contain functions and all kinds of stuff. So a class is an object that exists completely on its own. It has its own entity in a program, and it can be created as many different times as you would like it to. So we're going to create a class example. And this is not the best example of a class, but later on we're going to be, if we continue the C# series, we're going to do a lot more work that's going to use classes. But this is kind of going to introduce you to how to declare a class and how to access the information that's inside of a class. So, having that in mind, File, New Project, Empty Project, Class, Project. Sweet. So let's make our own file. Perfect. Using system. And we'll do class. This will be the main class. Public static void main. Alright, now no matter how many different classes that you have in your program, you can only have one main class, or one class that has a main method. So, knowing that you can never have a main method in any other class that you create. So we're going to create a very simple class right above this. We'll just call this class, and we'll just call it output. And inside here, we're going to put a function, public static void toScreen, and it's going to take in a string, and we'll call it str. So this function is going to get input as a string, and let's just write it out to the screen. So we'll do console dot write line str. Cool. So since this is public, we can access this through the main function, and we'll do this by creating we'll do output, so there's the name of the class, dot toScreen, and we'll do test. Control F5. Test. So we basically created our own class that took in text and spit it out to a screen. Now, we can do a whole lot of other interesting stuff with classes. We can have a whole lot of different data types in here, whole lot of different functions in here, and we can just create new instances of the class and access them through that. Now, what I mean by new instance of a class, it's exactly the same thing as a new instance of a struct. Now that you understand the basics of how a class is created, we're going to come back in another program, and we're going to be using this concept to develop a Caesar shift cipher program.